Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. And welcome to Friday's edition of the Doctor Who Daily. The potential upcoming announcement on who's going to be the 14th Doctor, get it right, is like a Damocles hanging over every single Doctor Who's fan's head. Why? Because of identity politics. Everyone's wondering, is it going to be a white man? Is it going to be a person of colour? Is it going to be someone from the LGBTQ community? You know, everyone's so obsessed with how the new Doctor identifies as, but no one's talking about what actor it's going to be, what kind of nuance the character's going to be, considering this Doctor now has no nuance whatsoever. Thanks to Chris Chibnall, the showrunner, current showrunner of Doctor Who. It's very important that we do have a Doctor again of nuance. Now, Russell T Davies, who's going to be making these big decisions, of course, you know, has the pride of saying, I had Christopher Eccleston and David Tennant. Both his Doctors had great nuance. But it's interesting with Russell's two Doctors because they were like playing the same incarnation of the Doctor. Let me kind of clarify what I'm saying. Eccleston's Doctor and Tennant's Doctor, basically were going through the same journey. That's annoying now, isn't it? Jesus Christ, if it's not one thing, it's the other. Anyway, yeah, so it seemed like Tennant and Eccleston were playing the same character. You know, so instead, like when we saw with Moffat, we saw Smith's journey, then we saw Peter Capaldi's journey. It was a little bit different, like they're separate people. But with Eccleston and Tennant, it seemed like they had the same arc, they had the same journey. So in season 1, we find out that the Doctor was in the Time One. He had to destroy Gallifrey and kill the Daleks and the Gallifreyans and the Time Lords. So everyone's dead and he's got to live with that, and he's very gritty and he's very angry about that, and he meets Rose and she makes him better. Then in season 2 we kind of continue that journey when Tennant becomes the Doctor. It is not a new journey, it is the same journey, and I find that very, very fascinating, because, you know, when we look at what Moffat did, and he kind of treated Smith and Capaldi like separate entities, where Davies was actually looking at it as the same character, the same arc. So could he do the same thing again? Well, it depends how long he's around for, if he's going to be around to cast 2 or 3 Doctors. So I've said from the very beginning, I can see Russell T Davies going pretty A-list with the casting of the Doctor, and I don't know why, but I think he's going to go for Tom Holland. And I may have mentioned it on the Doctor Who Daily and on this channel before, and maybe I haven't, but I've been sitting there thinking about who it could be. And I think Tom Holland would be perfect. Why would Tom Holland be perfect? Because he plays Peter Parker and Spider-Man. Who does Peter Parker, Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe appeal to? Families. What did Russell T Davies, Doctor Who, appeal to? Families. People from different backgrounds. You know, people, 10 to 12 million people, 7 million, whatever it was, in the RTD era was sitting there on their sofas with their partners, their mums, their dads, whoever. And that's what he did. He attracted everyone. He attracted different dynamics. And that's why I feel, and when I think about his latest biopic about Noelle Gordon, it's, and Helena Bonham Carter's going to be playing her, again, that's pretty A-list casting. I'm kind of, wow, Russell T Davies can get Helena Bonham Carter. Why shouldn't he? I'm insulting Russell. Of course he can. Russell's A-list himself. Everyone wants to work with him, especially ever since he did Doctor Who. And the stuff he's done since Doctor Who is on another level as well. So I do think Russell is going A-list, whether that's an A-list female, LGBTQ, black, Indian, Asian, that stuff doesn't matter to me. And I know a lot of you are vying for divisive conversations around that, but that doesn't interest me. What really does interest me is who is going to play the Doctor, not how the Doctor identifies as. And I think it's definitely hanging over like a Damocles over our heads who it's going to be. I do expect the announcement after Doctor Who Flux is over from now to the 1st of January, it would make sense. I mean, they could wait until the second special, but I don't think they will. I think, listen, if I was running the show, I would be quite stubborn and I wouldn't reveal who the Doctor was, and I'd keep it a secret. It's a hard thing to keep a secret. That's why they always reveal it. Now, in terms of the Moffat era, they made a big deal about who the Doctor was going to be. Chibnall's reveal of Whittaker was, you know, she was in that coat, we didn't know who it was, and then she takes it off and we find out it's Jodie. So we've had big reveals. Now, in the early days, they weren't big reveals. I mean, it was just announced in the papers with Chris and David. Now, I don't know if that's the way Russell wants to do it. I'm sure there'll be a lot of fanfare, and if it's Tom Holland, I think there'll be huge fanfare. Now, there'll be people out there saying, Mick, there's no way, he's too busy with the MCU. Well, he's just, look, we're getting Spider-Man No Way Home later this month. It's going to be the biggest pandemic movie. It's going to be huge. But it doesn't mean he can't do Doctor Who. Let's say Russell used to do 13 episodes. That may be still 6 episodes like Chibnall's done. It could be 10 episodes. It can be done. It can definitely be done. And I think, listen, for me personally, working for Russell T Davies as the Doctor would be a great pull, a great, you know, challenge for Tom Holland. Because the Doctor is a challenging character in the right writer's hands. In Chibnall, it hasn't been a challenging character. Because Jodie is a woman, the Doctor had to be flawless with no flaws. The Doctor is a flawed character. The Doctor is a selfish character. The Doctor can be an immoral character. And Jodie's Doctor hasn't shown any of this nuance whatsoever. I think Tom Holland is a very good actor. He's better than Spider-Man. He's better than the MCU. He's delivered some fine performances in Netflix stuff and Apple TV stuff as well. So I think, listen, if you cast Tom Holland as the Doctor with Russell T Davies' creativity and character development and writing, I think you've got something incredibly special. And I do think he's going A-list. Doctor Who needs an A-list actor. It was genius to bring Christopher Eccleston in, because Christopher Eccleston was a bit of a movie star at that point. Had he done Gone in 60 Seconds at that point? I can't remember, with Nicolas Cage, who was a huge actor at that point. So it's an interesting situation, and let's see if I'm right or wrong. I'm not saying Tom Holland will get it. I'm saying I have a sneaky suspicion for Tom Holland, and I could be absolutely wrong. People keep on talking about Tom Holland as James Bond, and I keep on saying I think he would be a much better Doctor than a James Bond. He's just not James Bond for me. It's just, I mean, unless you want to do young James Bond. I don't even know how old Holland is. I think Holland looks younger than he actually is, and that's a definite possibility. But I just think he would be an excellent Doctor. I think he just be the Tom Holland you are in interviews for the MCU. He's absolutely great quality in those interviews. But basically, playing the Doctor, you do bring elements of your own personality in it. That's part of the core element of playing the Doctor. The core element of playing the Doctor is that you bring bags of personality, character, and the Doctor must be intelligent. I think Tom Holland would be an excellent Doctor. I know many people won't agree with that, but I do think that's the type of casting that Russell T Davies will go for. Now, normally Russell T Davies casts people he's already worked with. So we look at the 2 Doctors he cast. He worked both with Eccleston and Tennant. So that would take Tom Holland out of the equation. But just because he's only cast people he's worked with in the past before, it doesn't mean he's going to do the same thing again. So everyone who's worked with him is now being linked to the role. You know, Ollie Alexander has been the favourite for many months and weeks now, even though he keeps on denying that he's going to do it. But then he would deny he's going to do it, wouldn't he? He's not exactly going to admit that he's the next Doctor. I'm fine with Ollie Alexander. I have no issue whatsoever. But the culture war is huge here, and everyone is vying for someone from different identities to be cast in this role. A proper Doctor Who fan who actually genuinely loves Doctor Who wouldn't care about the identity of the actor playing the Doctor. They would just want the right and the best actor to be cast. This has been the Doctor Who Daily. I'm Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wives. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Please hit the notification bell so you never miss this perfection. And I'll see you again tomorrow with even more Doctor Who Daily. Until then, goodbye.